So I would literally need a wall to write all the reactions,
Okay.
even if I were to write in really small handwriting.
Hmm.
So that many reactions, thousands of reactions are happening at any given time. Company name is Clarity Biosystems. Yeah.
What is the story behind the clarity?
So in present case, we are working with a biopharma company where we have achieved about 30% improvement in the process that is already very well optimized. We are a startup, so we have a young team. So our cost is much lower than a typical large AI company.
Correct.
So our vision is to, for in the biotherapeutic space, try to reduce the cost of manufacturing by 2 to 3 fold minimum. And cost is going to be a driver for the Indian population to be able to afford these treatments. And that is being offered at 1/10 the price.
Yeah, as I heard about it, it's really amazing.
And it is already curing people.
So, hello everyone, welcome to Pharma Now. On today's episode, we have a very renowned professor from IIT Bombay, who today turns into entrepreneur and bringing a lot of innovative products to the industry of biotech. So, today is the opportunity to welcome Dr. Pramod. Welcome, Dr. Pramod, to the show. Uh, so, the agenda of today's talk is, of course, we would love to know more about the startup, what you are running in, and I think it is really creating some good dent on the industry. Those are I happens to look at the product and the presentation of the product from your team, so it looks very interesting to me. And of course, as it is a AI ML, and in a world of DeepSeek and open AI, everyone is talking AI, but it is very important to work on the very different use cases. And I think the use cases which you are targeting are very much important and really trying to create a lot of solutions to the current problems. So I think today is a good opportunity where we can unfold that. We'd like to understand really key what your products are, how those products are creating the impact. Yeah. So let's start. So
Yeah.
so first, I'm always fascinated about the place called IIT Bombay, just besides the Powai Lake. It's a
Right.
beautiful institution.
Yeah.
So tell me about your journey first.
So I have been a professor at IIT Bombay for about 27 years now.
Right.
And I'm in the Department of Chemical Engineering.
Okay.
So I basically teach chemical engineering students.
Okay.
But my research is in the domain of biotechnology, broadly biotechnology, and more specifically in metabolic engineering. So we engineer bacteria to make useful products.
Okay.
We engineer processes, bioprocesses, so that the process is more efficient. And we do these things using models. So we
Okay.
develop models, detailed metabolic models to gain understanding of the bacteria or the organism that is in that bioprocess, and then derive guidelines from that model and the simulations to actually make changes in the bacteria or make changes in the bioprocess,
Okay.
so that the bacteria is optimized for the product of interest or the process is optimized for the product of interest.
Okay.
So that's the overall theme of our work.
So that's very interesting. So being a professor and doing a lot of research on the metabolism area. Now, it might be a very stupid question, but as a layman, uh, metabolism, we connect it to the gut health. So is this metabolism and that metabolism same, and how it works?
Yes, so metabolism is metabolism,
Yeah.
regardless of whether it is metabolism of a bacteria, human, plant, or any other living system.
Okay.
So all living things have metabolism,
Right.
and the metabolism is basically reactions, interconversion of small molecules from one molecule to another, and in a very complex network of. So if you were to sort of write down the metabolic model on a, so I would literally need a wall to write all the reactions,
Okay.
even if I were to write in really small handwriting. So that many reactions, thousands of reactions are are happening at any given time
Okay.
in our cells or any living cell.
Okay. That's a wonderful. Now let me get back to the your journey from professor to entrepreneur. How this happens?
So I have been active in research, and I've been pursuing these research areas of metabolic engineering and so on. So we used a tool called Metabolomics, which is the study of large number of metabolites or small molecules. It as a tool in our research,
Right.
and but we could very quickly see that that tool has wide ranging applications, uh, and there wasn't a lot of expertise available within the country to use that as a tool. And that tool has really good, good utility, good applications.
Okay.
And this tool can be, to some extent, compared with the genomics and proteomics. Those are the tools that are now more widely used in research. But metabolomics is a tool that is not so widely used.
Okay.
So we thought of offering metabolomics as a tool or as a service, and associated to that other, add-on services, uh, mainly to the Indian biotech industry, Indian biopharma industry. So that is how the idea of this company came along. And
So
we
company name is Clarity Biosystems.
yes,
Right?
company name is Clarity Biosystems.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the story behind the Clarity?
So you want to gain clarity in the metabolism, want to gain greater clarity into the system that you have at hand. Let's say I'm a biotech company and I want to improve my process. So I can, of course, do it by design of experiments, by trial and error, and so on. But can we, and with that, we are not going to reach the optimum, the real optimum. We are always going to be in the local optimum. So to reach the local optimum, you need better clarity in the system that you are working.
Okay.
So
That's where you are bringing more clarity to the systems.
yes, hopefully.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your actual product, like how your product is helping the industry in resolving the problems. I think you were
Yes.
talking about different data models, what you are working on, and you are trying to analyze that data which is coming out of the system. So let's talk more about it. What exactly the problem statement you identify, how you identify that problem, and what solution you are bringing on the table.
Yeah, so our clients or our partners typically have some objective in mind, right? So let's say Biopharma as a client, their objective is to reduce the cost of production,
Correct.
the upstream processes. And let's say if we take the example of a biotherapeutic such as monoclonal antibody.
Yeah, right.
The cost of production is high, and therefore the cost that the patient has to pay also is very high.
Of course.
So we need to reduce that cost. So we need to reduce not just by 10 or 20%, but by multiple folds, by 5x or 10x that cost has to go down.
Okay.
Now, our offering in that area is to do this cost reduction by process optimization, by process innovation.
Okay.
And for this innovation, we use a model-based approach. And this model-based approach has two components in it. One is a detailed model of the organism, and second is large data associated with that process.
Right.
So typically we use this model and the data together.
Okay.
So the data alone may not provide all the insights, and the model alone may not provide all the insights. So these two together, the model simulated and solved using the data, that provides us the insights to optimize the process and obtain a global optimum.
Okay.
Which is so if I, let's say, look at this, y-axis is the cost, and if I look at the various possible processes, so I want to be at the really global minima of the cost.
Okay.
And I want to minimize the cost to the extent that is possible.
Correct.
And that is how we work in this biopharma as a use case.
So the product is right now already we have come up and we have implemented the product, or how?
Yes, it's a product. It is more like a the optimization model is a product, but we typically don't offer the model as a product. We offer it as a service.
Service. Okay.
And we work with a client. We work closely with our clients where they already have a microorganism, they already have a product in mind, and they already have a process. And that process needs to be optimized further by 5x or 10x. And
Right.
that is
So,
how
so
we
what,
work.
what, what is the, do we have any case study right now where we have really done this optimization and we have achieved this result?
Yes. So most of our clients are very advanced biotech companies or
Mm.
biopharma
Mm.
companies. So they already have optimized their processes significantly.
Correct.
So in present case, we are working with a biopharma company where the product is monoclonal antibody, a biotherapeutic product, and we have achieved about 30% improvement in the process that is already very well optimized.
Okay.
So
30% seems to be a very big number.
yeah, 30% over a already optimized process. And a process which is at a preliminary stage, there we are able to achieve anywhere between 5 to 10 fold improvement.
My goodness. Yeah, that's really wonderful. But then how it goes with the cost factor, because uh, AI is always a costlier affair, right?
Right.
So, and currently, of course, after DeepSeek now, world is talking lot here and there. But certainly, AI is always a costly affair, and implementing the AI solution is always charge bomb to the company.
Correct.
Now, in your case, how it works?
So first of all, we are a startup, so we have a young team. So our cost is much lower than a typical large AI company.
Correct.
However, we use AI, in selectively.
Selectively. Yes.
Also, our AI is not a typical large language model type of AI.
Okay.
So the large language, the LLM, the chat GPT and such are based on languages.
Correct.
Where there is a lot of data, lot of text and speech and
Correct.
etc. is available for training.
Okay.
So AI typically works based on training. So what the way we apply AI is we take a problem which typically is solved by a human expert. We want to automate that process.
Right.
Let's say I want to automate my data analysis, my modeling, or my decision making process. And otherwise there will be a lot of human expert time, which there are two aspects to it. One is that time, the expert time is not readily available, and expert's time is expensive.
Yeah.
So to reduce that, we apply AI. And the way we apply AI is we take a bigger problem and break it down into smaller tasks. And every task we apply a relatively simple AI model. Now for that task, I need certain amount of training data,
Right.
and use that training data to train the model.
Right.
So now I have a bigger task of, let's say, optimize my process.
Correct.
I break it down into smaller tasks, and every task is then automated. The human experts only need to look at the output and make sure that the output is realistic and relevant.
Okay.
What we in our jargon called as a sanity check
Right.
of the result.
Right. Right.
So that is how we want
That's
to.
really wonderful.
Yeah.
So, what is your vision now for Clarity Biosystems?
So our vision is to, for in the biotherapeutic space, try to reduce the cost of manufacturing by 2 to 3 fold minimum in the next 2 to 3 years. And we want to do that by collaborating with the biopharma manufacturers in the country at the moment.
Correct.
And then, of course, go global and offer similar services. So this is the near term 1 to 2 years, and going forward, we want to offer similar services for the cell and gene therapy, where the cost of therapy can be of the order of several tens of lakhs or even up to 1 crore
True that.
per treatment. And a lot of that cost is attributed to the cost of manufacturing, the
Yeah.
biomanufacturing
Yeah.
process, the testing, and so on. So we want to apply the modeling and KI to reduce a lot of these costs and reduce the cost of testing, so that we don't have to test every sample to the same extent. If I have an AI model, if I can
Agreed.
test uh, uh, to fewer tests and
Correct.
also still arrive at the same benefit.
Correct. I think that would be really wonderful because current cost of the therapy, whole therapy is very high, and
Right,
if we
right.
can able to reduce the part of that all testings through the I think that will be really wonderful, and that will bring lot change in the industry, right?
Right, right.
That's very good. So what do you think? How biopharma industry is growing nowadays? Overall, like industry in India.
Right. So biopharma industry in India is mainly primarily based on the monoclonal antibody as a product. There are some other hormones as products, and there are few other types of products. The upcoming field is cell and gene therapy. Uh, in both these, the costs are relatively high.
Correct.
What we see is that both these areas are likely to grow
Correct.
at a significant rate. I will not be able to put a number
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
growth
Yeah. Sure.
percentage will be, but there is just going to be a significant growth in these two areas, and cost is going to be a driver for the Indian population to be able to afford these treatments because they are truly life-saving treatments.
Absolutely. But do you think Indian researchers are really working on these aspects, and how they're adopting these techniques?
So in the Indian academic institutes, research institutes, there is a lot of foundational work that is going on, and the tools and the techniques and the technologies and the foundational science is, there is a lot of work on that. When it comes to commercialization, that has to be done by companies, by the definition, the commercialization. So now there are two ways this is happening. One is the companies that already exist there, or the new companies are coming up, they're trying to commercialize it. At the same time, the Indian institutes such as IIT Bombay are encouraging startups, and some really good products are coming out of. Our colleague Rahul Purwar at IIT Bombay has started a company called ImmunoAct.
Yeah.
And he has successfully developed the cell and gene therapy
Correct.
product for cancer, and that is being offered at 1/10 the price.
Yeah, as I heard about it, it's really amazing.
And it is already curing people, and he's scaling up, and that's a real success.
That's really wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So, you being a professor for 27 years now, and of course, when we look at a professor, we always look for advice, right? So, I also wanted to have one advice for our young researchers because I'm sure building a startup in biotech requires a lot of patience. It's not an instant gratification, like
Correct.
so you build a e-com and there is something you can see and people will respond. Here you need to get into shell for a few months time or years time, and your result will come after few years. So what would be your advice for the startup entrepreneurs in the biotech domain or pharma domain?
So my view on this is that a deep tech, science-based startup requires scientific expertise.
Yeah.
So it will be a good idea to sort of partner, not just employ scientists, but also partner with scientists as co-founders, etc. That is number one. Number two, this requires lot more investment because it is not just a software program, but also you need in reality you need some lab and uh, grow cultures, test them, do chemical trials. So all these things are, number one, expensive, and number two, they take time.
Yeah.
So the clinical trials take time, the approvals take time, and it's just a natural process because we want to make sure that any new drug that is produced is safe. It's not only efficacious, but it's just so all this put together, one needs patience. Absolutely, with biotech method. So uh, if we can get, if both the founders of such new companies as well as the investors come with that mindset, I think it will, it will make a lot of progress.
Certainly. So, Dr. Parma, thanks a lot for talking to us. I think it's really wonderful insights, and it was great to know about the Clarity Biosystems. I wish a great success. I'm sure this product will have amazing use cases across the globe, and it will certainly bring a required change in industry. Right. So it's first of all, congratulations for such a wonderful product and a wonderful team and a wonderful company altogether. And thanks a lot for sharing all the insights with us.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.